Well, Blues Chief Advisor Greg Alexander joins us. Congratulations, Brandy, on a record-breaking series. With New South Wales, they were dominant, but it just wasn't the annihilation that you were after. What did you talk about before breaking camp with the Blues today?
Look, we spoke mostly about it last night, Bonnie. And look, there was plenty of disappointed players in the sheds after the game and on the bus ride back to Kingscliff. So we spoke to the boys just about enjoying the moment, and we won't get another chance. It's been an incredible 6-week period that we've spent with each other. We just come out of a lockdown camp, which is very unique. I know the players are used to doing these things, but not for a week or 8 days. It was. We just spoke about enjoying the moment and realising what they'd actually accomplished through the series. Although the disappointment was in the room last night, after a couple of beers, everyone realised that it was pretty special and didn't forget about the loss, but focused on what they'd been able to accomplish in games 1 and 2.
So, Brandy, where did it go wrong last night then?
Kenty, we weren't perfect. That's all. And Queensland were a lot better. We turned some ball over in good ball position. We probably didn't move the ball and attack as well as we have in previous games. I think we found it a little bit more difficult than we thought we would to get the ball to Tom and Latrell in good positions. But it was still a tremendous effort from them. There was a period there in the first half where they tackled for 8 minutes. They did not have the ball for 8 minutes. So, it'd be quite easy to blame some of the decisions that went against us. And I thought, if Gerard Sutton was to review his game, he'd probably like to change a few decisions that he made last night, but certainly not blaming that. I just thought that, we weren't as perfect as we were in games 1 and 2, and Queensland was certainly better with Kalen Ponga back in the side, and I thought Ben Hunt was very good out of dummy half.
You said you struggled to get the ball to Latrell Mitchell and Tom Trbojevic. They dominated games 1 and 2 so heavily. Would you rethink the decision now of who you played at 6 and 7 for New South Wales if you had the chance again?
No, probably not, Kenty. No, I think Mitch Moses, difficult game for him. Make his origin debut in a game where we weren't as good as what we had been. And I thought both defended really well. And, if there was question marks over Mitchell's game, it was whether he could hold up his own defensively. I thought he was fantastic in that department. But there was always, even though camp and preparations went well, there was always the chance that it wouldn't gel under game conditions, the combination. And, the fact that the boys had played with Nathan and Jerome in 1 and 2 and things worked and they didn't have to think too hard. It was obviously that Jack and Mitchell, having not played together, was always going to be put under pressure. But I wouldn't change the decision of picking those two.
So one of the attributes, I think, of the games 1 and 2 was that Cleary and Luai did play together, and one of the things that was often spoken about was the club combinations. You had the opportunity to bring Walker and Reynolds in, and which seems like it would have, by listening to you there, would have fixed those problems you had.
It might have, Kenty, but that's, everything's great in hindsight, and we'd be speculating on whether Adam Reynolds and Cody Walker would have done anything different to what those two did. I thought individually they both deserved a right to play Origin. We decided to go with Mitch Moses. Cody Walker had his chances last year. Adam Reynolds, I don't know how closely you've watched South Sydney play, but and whether you're just picking them because they are a club combination. As I said just a moment ago, I wouldn't change the decision to pick Mitch Moses or to pick Jack Whiten in the halves.
What did Mitch and Jack say to you after that game? Were they among that disappointed group?
Yeah, of course they were, Vonnie. Yeah, Mitch's first game was a loss, so he was disappointed. Jack's such a wholehearted footballer, and gives everything. Jack, he's an Origin player, whether that position's 5'8" centre or coming off the bench. He can fill either spot. So yes, they were disappointed by it. I know everyone might be hedging that. It was from the line of questioning. it doesn't sound like you agree that Moses and Jack White deserved a crack at Origin. In hindsight, it's easy to say, yeah, you should have gone with the club combination in South Sydney, but that is in hindsight.
But was that coaching Brandy, or like we're not trying to be critical of the play. I'm just saying, like, is that coaching? Why was that not? Why did that come to fruition last night when you were playing the game, and you only got to find out when you were playing the game?
So I've got to find out what?
That perhaps they weren't. The combination wasn't right. Was Jack White and told he's a great runner of the ball? Was he encouraged to run the ball more?
Yeah, he was, Paul. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he was encouraged to run the ball. Pass, keep it simple, Jack. Pass and run.
Mitch Moses
had early, then run.
Mitch Moses had no runs for no metres. We heard all week about Mitch doesn't have to do anything. All he's got to do is kick the ball. Well, it appears he took that literally.
Yeah. Okay, Kenny. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm asking you, Brandy. No, I'm not trying to have a crack at you.
Well, I think you are. Your line of questioning is always aggressive. Paul,
it's a legitimate question.
Was not. Mitch Moses wasn't told not to run the ball. If that's what you mean by coaching.
What about then? What about then at half time, like when you tried to readjust?
The combinations. Sorry.
Well, we are talking about combinations, Brandy.
Yeah. Go. Keep going. Keep firing.
Well, okay, you lost Safidi, for example, and you replaced him with Dale Finucane, tremendous player once again, but you didn't replace like for like.
Yes, no. We didn't replace a big man with another big man. We were happy to go with Dale Finucane.
Well, let me ask you this then. You know, and again, I'm not trying to be aggressive, but the questions that people are asking.
Yeah.
Brad Fittler spoke last year of lessons he learned during the series. And sorry, he spoke of lessons he learned during last year's series. What lessons were learned last night about Queensland and their ability to go out and just get in that dogfight, and New South Wales being unable to win the tight game?
Yeah, last night we didn't win the tight game. That's right. No, we went down in the tight game. I don't think there was too many lessons. We weren't surprised with Queensland's performance. Paul, I knew Queensland were going to be a better side with Ben Hunt at hooker and Kalen Ponga at fullback. Their forwards played well. I thought it was a great battle in the middle. I don't think they steamrolled us. I thought the battle was quite even. The score was 20-18. So lessons learned out of last night. You know, if we hang on to the ball better than what we did in good field position, well, we might have been able to score a couple of more tries. And it comes down to things as simple as that, not holding the ball. We dropped the ball 4 times inside their 10 on the attack. And now we didn't do that once in games 1 and 2. Now that's not who you pick in the side. That's just players making errors.
Yeah. And that's Queensland's aggressive defence.
Yeah. Well, I thought
it was good defence.
Our defence was pretty aggressive too. I thought we defended our try line for big chunks.
I didn't say you were.
Game.
I didn't say you were. I was just pointing out that Queensland would cause those drop balls by New South Wales.
Yeah. Well, generally defence. Sometimes defence does cause mistakes, Paul.